I do wish I had cleaned it up a little bit and not have cussed as much. I know my husband would have liked that. But actually, people were like, I feel like you really delivered that the point, the message.
Passionate
with the
about
fucks,
it.
the shits, and the asses. Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
Welcome, everybody. Calm
Regular
down.
season is over.
Over under. I was terrible during the regular season on my bets with this season. Yeah, I should have went money line on stuff. I thank God I didn't bet yesterday on the Cowboys. Hey, girl. Whoa, terrible. That was the game Erin worked yesterday. If you're a Cowboys fan, you know what we're talking about. If you're a Commanders fan, congrats on finishing the season out strong. Playoff matchups are set. Wild card weekend right around the corner. Sister, how was yesterday? Tell everyone where you're going, what you're doing, all the things.
Well, I'm just glad to be home. We had like a two-hour delay. Love your Seahawks wear gear. I got Florida wear on because it's going to be a new year tomorrow in college football. Let's go.
If you guys aren't watching this, I'm wearing a Seahawks sweatshirt. Of course, they got in with a win and some help from the Detroit Lions, and Erin's wearing her cute Florida Gators sweatshirt. Tell everyone where you can get it. Fanatics.com.
Yeah. Wear by EA.com. Just type in either your NFL team, your college team, Major League Baseball, NHL. We don't have time. Hey, Rye, can you write in our chat here if people want to watch us? They just go to YouTube. But speaking of chatting, I wanted to tell you, speaking of the Commanders, you go to youtube.com/@calmdown and you guys can watch us. Cute. Speaking of the Commanders Washington game, and speaking of chatting, we did a little Zoomy McZoomersons with Terry McLaurin, and I had never really met him before. And I said, Charissa had mentioned what a dream you were and how great the sit down was. And he said, thanks. It came out so great.
Oh,
for those of you that don't,
Terry McLaurin is a wide receiver for the Commanders, and he is so, first of all, that catch he had yesterday, holy hell. He's very good and very sweet. And he's a person that you want as a cornerstone of your franchise, which is why they gave him that big money class act.
Played with 10 quarterbacks since he's been there. That's just not fair.
And what, 7 different, no, not that many, 6 maybe head coaches. Either way, he continues to be consistent in a very dysfunctional organization that's finally coming into its own. So yesterday, what was your reaction to that game? Because I know everyone's like, ugh. Cowboys.
What's happening?
Yeah.
What's going on? Because you know that they wanted to take those starters out. God forbid if anybody got hurt, like we saw obviously Monday night, which we'll touch upon. But they needed something good to happen to take them off the field. We obviously had our eyes like you did, and you were telling us in our ears what was going on in the Eagles-Giants game. But it's going to be a long week in Dallas this week.
Right, because had Dallas lost and San Francisco lost, there was still a chance that they could, an outside chance that they could have, that the Cowboys could have got the number 1 seed. But you just touched on it, and I'd be remiss if we kept going without mention Damar Hamlin, the news and the terrible at the time tragedy that was on the field and stopped the NFL world and the collective world at large. And Damar Hamlin, great news today. Got to leave the hospital and head back to Buffalo. I loved it.
It's been a week. It's been a week.
Which is insane. Here is a young gentleman. I'm sure you guys all know. But if you don't, of course, he went into cardiac arrest. Thank God for the first responders, the trainers, Danny Kellington, and the whole staff that were able to revive him on the field, and all the medical professionals at the University of Cincinnati who gave him such great care. But it really is remarkable what this young man went through and his ability to already be released from the hospital. I loved I wrote it down. He said, watching the world come together around me on Sunday was truly an amazing feeling. So this was yesterday at the collective, the NFL wearing, circling the number 3 and the 30. The outpouring of support. And he said, the same love you all have shown me is the same love that I plan to put back into the world and more. Like, in a world where everybody has dissension, it felt like this was the first thing in a really long time that people were unified on. And there was, and there's always occasional assholes along the way that will find some reason to not put the spotlight on what really matters. But independent of that, the only thing that matters is that it felt very special to watch a terrible situation, thank God, not turn out tragically, and that he's able to articulate his feelings like that. And the money that was raised for his, the Toy Foundation, over $8 million, and all the good that came out of a terrible situation is really special. And it shows what a special community the NFL is, and sports at large, that something terrible can happen, and the ability to, rally together is really special. And one of the many reasons we love sports. I know.
Incredible. I don't know. We don't get to cover the Bills very much on Fox because we're very much tied to the NFC. And I've said to my husband, I've said to you a lot over this last week, I wish I knew that team a lot better than we do. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, we're going to get to cover them a lot more. But the stories that have come out about this kid have been amazing. The stories of just Josh Allen's leadership, Sean McDermott's leadership, the trainers, as you've mentioned, are incredible. The hospital, Greg Olsen we were all talking about it, as everybody's been talking about it at dinner the other night. And I don't want to misspeak on anything, but he got in contact with his old athletic trainer / doctor with the Carolina Panthers and kind of was running us through the fire drill / pit stop of what happens when a player is down and maybe showing some distress, because it was pretty amazing to see. And I know from my husband being, playing in the NHL, like we always go, if there was an injury, I would call the assistant trainer right away or text and be like, how bad is it? Then the head trainer would call me. We know the doctors, all that. We were kind of amazed that the assistant trainer administered CPR right away. And Greg was kind of going through, and again, I don't want to misspeak because I don't want to be ignorant, what has to happen. And it's like all hands on deck, and everybody is well educated and informed on what to do. So first person gets there, they check the head, they check for breathing, neck paralysis, all that. It just matters in the sense of who's getting to the player first, not I'm the assistant, I'm the head, I'm administering CPR.
Throw out hierarchy.
Exactly. Regardless of what happened, everyone performed their jobs, and even little things. And I'm so glad the general manager of the Bills mentioned this. Even the equipment staff. I mean, you forget about it. They have to run up with the drill to get the screws off, to get his mask off, to start administering CPR, to cut the uniform. It's just
every second All-stars, matters
heroes,
in that moment.
Amazing. You guys are rock stars. All of it.
I just can't imagine. And here's the other part about it too: the poise in the moment when everyone. I mean, and that is why it takes a very special person to do what they do in the medical field, and just to have, like, when you in that moment, to have the poise to know exactly what to do, because every single second is so critical. But yes, most importantly, with the incredible efforts of everyone, Damar Hamlin is released from the hospital today, being Monday, and gets to go home, which is just so remarkable.
Ridiculous. I'm interested for when, I'm sure you'll go out and do an interview this week for the playoffs or whatever, but seeing guys and seeing coaches this week or yesterday on the field, the hugs felt different.
Aww.
They did for me. Like, I sat down with CeeDee Lamb, and I have met CeeDee like a few times, but never got to do a sit down interview with him.
Yeah.
But I hugged him, and it was like, I almost hugged him a little bit longer, right?
Aww.
The DBs of Al Harris, who works with the DBs of the Cowboys, gave him a big hug. He was wearing, love for Damar. Just felt different yesterday. The trainers, I kind of just patted them all on the back, because everybody's like a big brotherhood. It's a big fraternity. It just, yesterday felt different. And Greg made a good point. This is going to change the league forever in terms of how people act towards these players, which we kind of touched on the Monday show. I felt myself going out of my way to be like, hey, thanks for your time. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, but it echo, and we'll go. I want to get into that too, what you had mentioned, because I got some of the reaction from that, but also of course, I host the show in the morning and then do the game updates throughout the day. When Nyheim Hines had the kickoff return for a touchdown to open up that game. Were you guys
screaming? Were you screaming?
Everyone was like, I like have chills even talking about it now. Look at that. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the way that these young men, the first moment of the game back on the field after the traumatic events, And he has a kickoff return for a touchdown, then has another one. And again, if you don't believe in something bigger, then I can't help you when you watch things like this, because then it had been 3 years and 3 months since the Buffalo Bills had a kickoff return for a touchdown. And then yesterday they had 2. I was like, come on. Like, that is just, I don't know. It's really, really special. And it was a reminder that something incredible can come out of a terrible situation. And most importantly, he is okay. And I can't wait to see, even given his message, what he does, and to pay it forward. And really, God, I can't imagine how special that would feel to know that like everyone was rooting for you. And again, with so much dissension in the world, it's usually someone finds something negative with that. So anywho, but no, I mean, it just was a heavy week. I went to dinner with Schrager, our friend Peter Schrager, and Sean Payton on Saturday night. And we were just talking about it. And Schrager, talks every single day on Good Morning Football about this. And it's very heavy, but a great ending to what could have been a terrible moment. So, all right. So girlfriend, playoffs, with all sorts of things. But last night, we had mentioned it on the pregame, Erin, I woke up last night to buzzing on my phone, which normally I'm a really sound sleeper, so I don't know why I woke up. Probably because it was a innumerable amount of
I didn't know I woke you up. I'm sorry.
Oh, babe, no, it wasn't you. It was Coonan. That's why I told him to zip it. We were on a text chain, and the texts were going off at 2:30 in the morning. And I'm like, girl, I didn't know you were flying back last night. And I was like, why are you not in bed?
I know.
Aren't you exhausted? So stupid. And then this morning I missed a call from you at tired. 8:30.
I couldn't sleep in. It's basically like I took a red eye, which you get it. And so, it's going to be an early one for me tonight. Maybe national championship on in my jammies. Going to hit the bathtub for a bit, do a little swim in that. Gonna take a swim in your bathtub.
Let's go. Let's back this up. You're a bathtub gal?
This is one thing I have started to be, that these old bones, I don't like
bones
sitting
in
your business. I'm not interested in sitting in your business. But you know what is nice? I got to be honest. It's coming out of my mouth and I want to barf. I don't like the word soak. It's gross. But I got to tell you, you throw some Dr. Teal's Epsom salt in there, it gets some shit out of you, man. And I really feel like after eating, drinking on the weekend, sitting on a plane for 5.5 hours, really 10 to and from, you got to do it for like 20 minutes, have a glass of wine, get in, get out. But you know the part I don't like about it? This is like a very much a Curb Seinfeld episode. Then I got to get in the shower to rinse off. Why am I using so much water? We're in LA. There's a drought,
Well, there's not a drought over here at this residence because we got a leaky roof. And I mean, my God, I know. And here's the problem. This is twofold. We'll get back to the bath in a second. We are in a drought. But now, I was watching the news. It doesn't matter how much rain, that the ground can only absorb so much water. So now we have flooding. And so I'm like, well,
so
it's not one thing. It's exactly. Like we had no water. Now we have too much water. It's always something.
Take this.
But speaking of too much water, the bath. We're filling up the bath. We're waiting for the bath. I'm an instant kind of gal. I need to get in. I need to get out. And
I got to get
probably why I should take a bath, but then I'm with you. Are we shaving the legs in the bath? We're sitting in the dirty water.
No.
The only thing, I like the Epsom salt move, but I'm going to tell you, it's something called Dr. Mustard. And
you told me this.
And you like sweat out. Thank God I went to a yoga class there. I would have convinced myself to go upstairs after this and like take the bath. It makes you sweat stuff out that you're not interested in seeing. But then, we're cleaning up the bathtub when we're done because there's the residue and we're getting in the shower. It's too many steps for me.
There's so many steps where it's like, and then my head is soaking wet because I'm hot. And that's the other thing, the temperature control in the bathtub. Is it too cold? Is it too hot? I step in it and I'm like scalding myself and I'm like,
yeah.
And then, when certain parts hit that hot water, you're like, oh my God.
I'm dead. But okay, well, I hope you enjoy your bath. Your soak in the tub. If you will.
Soak, I hate that word so bad.
Do you have the thing on the bathtub that goes across and it's like that little tray thing and you put stuff in? I've always wanted one of those.
No, but I want it. I want it. I'm going to buy you one. I want it so bad.
You know why? I see it on The Holiday from Cameron Diaz. She's in the old school claw bathtubs, and there's that little tray. And I think to myself, what would I put in that little tray? I don't know. Maybe I'd take a bath just for that. Interesting.
I'm going to get you one.
Anywho.
Hey, the Harry interview. We've got to have a night out with Michael Strahan. I talked to him today. He goes, yes, we have to get one on the books. I can't.
You better not have gotten anything from him because I was really good yesterday.
No. I wouldn't do that to you.
I would never do it to you. I made a concerted effort to dodge him. So he didn't get any information about this.
Do you want to read the book or are you reading enough in articles?
I am seeing and reading enough in articles, and this is a whole podcast in and of itself. I have so many thoughts on this, and I will preface it by saying this. I don't know his life. I don't know how he grew up. This is only the outside looking in. But when you want to throw haymakers like that, you better prepare to never be able to walk back into that building because you just grenaded centuries-long family. And you know how we feel about keeping things in the locker room, right? Like, remember when Jose Canseco wrote that book called Juiced, and it outed all of those guys? It's like there is a code, and especially it's a family code, a locker room. I am a big believer of like keeping, as someone who's also very like open, and that's part of my New Year's resolution is to keep some shit to myself because not everyone needs to know everything about me. But I think authenticity is really important, but not all of these stories are yours to tell. There's another side of these that I just feel like it feels like you're doing it for money and you're doing it because, and again, this is the part that I get a little bit like in two minds about, is because his mother died because of paparazzi and the media. But now the media is your outlet to tell all these secrets. And I'm just like, I don't know. I have so many thoughts on it. I could keep going. What's your like snapshot?
I hate that he's revealing all of this. What's the upside to it? I don't understand what he's gaining from this. You're getting it off your chest. So why do you have to do it publicly? Tell a therapist. Why do we have to know that two brothers beat the crap out of each other? The Camilla part, I was kind of interested in what he really thought of Camilla, because I kind of thought that I've always wondered what those boys thought. But am I shocked that he has suffered the way he has with his mother dying? I guess he talks about the alcohol, the drugs. I didn't read the part of it, but these are words to live by Jillian Gregory, our makeup artist. I feel bad for Courtney Cox that he threw her under the bus and said he was doing chocolate mushrooms and drinking at her house. I agree with that. Like, why do you have to out Courtney Cox and say that you did that?
Because it's salacious and it's the whole thing we talked about on last week's episode of the podcast. There's the clickbait aspect of that. But you know, I don't believe in outing people's stuff if who's to say they want that out there? Like I feel like to hang with them, you'd have to sign an NDA. Like, why would Courtney Cox want that out there? I don't know. But then I go to the other side of that and I'm like, okay, well, is there stuff out there that you don't want people to know or say about you? Exactly. So then don't be shocked if it comes out on the other side. Exactly. There's just a lot of layers to it. You love Disneyland. I'm not a Disney gal, but I am the girly part of me is the fairy princess, Prince Charming, you know, light at the end of the tunnel, rainbows, someone, you know, the pretty woman. And he wants her, you know, she wants to be rescued by him and coming up of the fire escape. The royal family is our Disneyland, right? And that's not to exploit, but you technically, and like watching all these documentaries on the royal family, the reason why the residents, the Commonwealth. Thank you.
Thanks,
Ryan. The Commonwealth.
Good.
Yes. That's it. So it's like, you know that you give up, and you can't choose Ryan. What family you're born into, right? So who's to say like all the pressures and everything that come with that? But it just pulled back the curtain. Like basically, it felt like to me, as the outsider looking in, you just took off the head of Mickey Mouse and you're exposing all of the underbelly of Disneyland. And it's like, wait, I want to like live in this fantasy world. And to your point, like talk to your family and all the other people like privately about this. But it also, if that feels a little bit arrogant to be like, he can't even speak on his own life.
I did meet her before she became royalty. Now I don't want to be royalty, but I can't stop talking about royalty.
No.
Did I ever share this?
No. I only know she was in the DirecTV bowl that I hosted. And then her and Ryan Russillo were DMing back and forth.
I heard that, yes.
Right before. And by the way, I don't care. I'm sure he already put that out there. If he hasn't, Ryan Russillo could have been Mrs. Meghan Markle.
I got the leaf blower out front. Great timing. Yeah, he did tell us on the show. I met her in New York. I was single. My friend, who you know, I went out and kind of had drinks with him and some other people, and she was there at a bar.
Yeah.
And was pretty wound up that night because I had found out some information on my past. And I was just in a moment where I'm single. I'm never gonna get married. I'm gonna turn 40 someday. I'm never gonna have a baby. And I just was ready. And I don't think I ate anything and just, mouth open. Bottle draining in my throat. And I remember going to a bar and they were all excited because it was Meghan from Suits. And she walked over and said hello to everyone and gave me a kiss on my cheek. And I was like, she's great. Hey, what's up? And then I think I fell that night. Anyways, she was nice.
All right, girl, what else have we got? Okay, so playoffs, you're traveling. When do you leave this week?
Not a clue. Hey, is your roof still leaking?
Oh, yeah. Always.
What's going on? Give everyone an update.
So it continues to rain here in Southern California, which, as we just mentioned, was good until now there's flooding situation. So that's not good. I am in the process of trying to fix the leak, but we have to manufacture the certain whatever thing that will fit over it appropriately. You can't get it in time. So now not only is the roof leaking, but now the deck off of my room, it's the water. I'm going to go take a video of it and put it on the Calm Down podcast. It's up to here. So now it's creating a bunch of weight on the deck, which is putting more pressure on the roof. So we've got a situation. Yeah, and here's the thing. I always try to find solutions to these problems, but at some point, what am I supposed to do?
Also, it's by the time you get this puppy fixed, it's going to stop raining, right?
Of course
it's
it is.
Just
I bought rain jackets finally for these dogs today, which you have had a rain jacket for Howie forever, and I'm all excited. But they're going to come and then it won't rain for 3 weeks. So it's just one of those things when it, pun intended, when it rains, it pours. All this shit in my house is breaking, and it's this 5-year mark I've been in here, and I get excited where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to go fix it, do it myself. And then I'm like, fuck it. I don't care. Just fine. Just have the whole roof come in and I'll file a claim with the insurance. I'm so bored.
How old's your house?
Only 5 years old, which is also why I'm
that's kind of early for all
this?
that shiz.
That's what I'm saying. And it's the same way, if they come over and they're like, this is how much it costs. It's if I go to the vet, they're like, oh, you need this and this. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about fixing the roof. I don't know anything about a vet. If they tell me I need to pay for something, I'm going to pay it. It's like going to the mechanic.
Exactly.
So, anywho, but that's what's going on over here. It'll be fine.
Hey, we mentioned Courtney Cox with the whole hairy chocolate mushrooms thing. This is a weird transition, but I was trying to figure out how to get it in. I want to start doing on the show the Jillian Gregory quote of the week. We got to know her to love her, but I feel like even if you don't, you'd still crack up. We had a great text chain going this week.
So to remind everyone who Jillian is.
Yeah. Jillian does our makeup. She does my makeup for Fox. She does yours as well. She's just all in all, a great time and hilarious without even trying. And also, by the way, a knockout.
Smoking hot.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Stupid hot. Insane hot. And we bring her up from time to time on the show. So she's a fan of and a friend of the show. But we had a great text chain going on with our little group. And she was in some colonial number. I sent you guys a video and she was like, so colonial. And I died. Matthew wrote 1883, all the rage. I mean, what a guy.
Because so she sends us this video and Jillian's wearing this full length floral gown that she is an extra in 1883. Faith Hill wants it for the next season. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, why are you're wearing that randomly on a Friday while doing Erin's makeup? And wait, did she tell you I ran into her in the airport?
Yes.
Okay, so Erin and I were in Las Vegas.
In her Macy's Day Parade coat.
Oh, yeah. Erin and I were in Vegas earlier this week for some stuff, and which always makes me excited because during the season, I don't know if we talk about it, we don't really get to see each other because you're going here, I'm going here. This is our 1 hour a week catch up that we have. So being able to actually physically see you, I get so excited. And then I'm blah, 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 talking 100 miles an hour. So Vegas is a time, as we all know, and no one loves Vegas more than this gal. So I really tie one on while I'm there. So I'm getting off the plane. It's, the 6 a.m. flight home to Vegas, which is then delayed 4 hours. So now you're sleepwalking through the airport. And who do I see other than Jillian Gregory, I had just seen 2 nights before. She's coming back to the airport to fly with you to DC. And I look, I saw out of the corner of my eye this big fluffy jacket with like fake fur around the neck and around the wrists. And I was like, there she is. There she is. And this is what she said. Here's another quote. She goes, I look like I just murdered my husband. That's what she like walking through the airport in this like John Gotti wife jacket. You know, Donatella Versace would have been jealous. At 7 a.m. in the morning. She's a time.
She said to us, and I don't know if you remember this in Vegas. That may be the quote of the week, but I have one that is just as good. We're sitting there and we're getting ready to go to this thing, you know, Chris and I, and she goes, hey guys, I have a great person to be your guest on the Calm Down podcast. And she's got like this little like cutie look to her with her little ponytail. Who? Jennifer Aniston. She'd be great. Yeah. No shit, Jillian. Yeah, exactly. She'd be awesome.
Yeah. I'm waiting for her to be like someone attainable. I'm like, oh yeah, who do you got? Like Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, line one. I'm sure she's right behind Vince Vaughn. The breakup, the sequel is them on this podcast. Never coming on it. Forget it. Oh my God. That's still one of my favorite movies though. The breakup. And I love that they got together after that movie for a little bit. Everything about that movie is great. Her
body was so sick in that movie.
It looks great. She was wearing those low rise, the hip jeans, like, you know, just like hits your whatever, the bone. Those are coming back. And
I don't like it.
Well, we're old. But Frankie B, did you ever wear Frankie B jeans?
No, and I think we talked about this. Were those the Britney ones that were so
the
low?
Lowest? Yeah, where if you even like slightly bent over, your ass crack is coming out of the back of them. They're coming back and I'm like, no. I like that high waist. No guy ever likes a high-waisted jean. No guy's ever like, hey, you know what's hot? Mom jeans. No one's into that. But somewhere in the middle. Meet me in the middle. Meet me in the middle.
Why can't you just be in the middle?
Yeah, that's what we're going for there. So Jillian's a time. She's great. And which, by the way, you had mentioned it on the pregame. I have a Calm Down Podcast award that I would like to give out.
Oh, good. Yay, hooray. What are you calling it?
I don't know yet. But it is going to everyone, the Dominiques, the Victoria Trilling, the Alyssa Green, the Jillian Gregory, the Britneys, all of the wonderful people that help put us together throughout the season, the hair, makeup. And this isn't like I'm accepting some award at the Oscars. And I'd like to thank the hair and the makeup department and the costume department. I'd be nowhere without you. No, it's not like that. But this goes back to appreciating people who don't always get the appreciation on things, because this is a continued rant from last week when you were, and I loved what you said, when you were talking about these guys, these athletes are treated like meat. And I'm curious the reaction you got from that. So hold that thought.
Sure.
But I am so sick and tired, and I see it a lot, and it irks me when people treat hair and makeup and wardrobe, wonderful women or men like shit. Like this is, just stop treating them like they don't matter or you're dismissive or any of these other things. Like it happens too often and I'm so tired of it. And having become close with them and like they're our friends and our family and we spend more time with them than we do our own family during the season. And just hearing some of the horror stories of people and how they act towards them, like so dismissive. I don't know. It pisses me off, and I just feel
you're gonna have to call me after and tell me who did what.
Yeah, exactly. Because right now I'm so angry that they're not treated like they're freaking human beings that aren't also getting up at 4:00 in the morning and coming in and working their dick off and having children to support and everything else. So be nice to everyone that helps you do your job. Camera operator, prompter operator, all of the above. You know. Just enough.
Ooh,
it's a collective effort.
There's a story there.
I just want to, my Calm Down Podcast award goes to myself, but my rage on not treating everyone with equal respect is at an all-time high, especially at this point in the season. We're all tired. We're all making sacrifices, Audrey. Which, by the way, we're not. This is a great job. So who are we kidding? Like, it's a great job.
What kind of feedback did you get from our little rant there?
Oh,
anything?
Yeah, just, a couple of the PR, and we had shared them with one another. Some folks in the industry who work directly with athletes that on behalf of them, or like even Jalen Rose, like saying, thank you for saying that, because Erin, if you guys are not familiar, had a moment where she wanted to vocalize her displeasure, and rightfully so, with people that do not treat athletes like humans and ask sort of baiting questions. So yeah, what was your reaction?
Same. Yeah, it was something I would love to say, but I can't because then I'd be outing the person that I was kind of
And you're not
by.
Prince Harry.
No, I'm not. But yeah, same. Great text messages from people and just being like, we appreciate it and all that. I do wish I had cleaned it up a little bit and not have cussed as much. I know my husband would have liked that. But actually, people were like, I feel like you really delivered that. The message.
Passionate
with the
about
fucks,
it.
the shits, and the asses.
I know. I do need to work on my swearing too. Whenever I hear stuff
really
back,
bad.
I'm like, oh God, I don't really need it. But sometimes there is a time and a place for an emphasis with an exclamation part of fuck that, you know? But I'm excited. Look, it's the end of the regular season. It's postseason. This is when things get good. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this thing plays out and culminates in Glendale, Arizona with my little cutie there in the Florida sweatshirt on the sideline. What number Super Bowl will this be for you that you'll be working?
4?
That's fucking great. Like, it's
also,
so cool.
How about the way I just said 4? That was so gross. 4?
No, you were thinking. It's a privilege to be able to cover the NFL, and it is really exciting that when it's our year to host the Super Bowl, because then there's so much action. I just want there to be good games, good matchups, and everyone stays healthy. Cute.
Yeah. Cute.
All right. She's got to go take a bath. I got to go fix the leak in my roof and my deck. And we'll see you next week. We love you guys. Submit some more questions to the pregame. We appreciate ya. Bye.
Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.